Councilman Jackson, District 4, please.
Good evening, everybody. Just to answer a couple of questions that was put by some residents. Yes, the city does have dog laws. They've been in place for quite a while, and I'd like to say that because I did the initial draft for those laws, and it dealt with vicious animals and how they were going to be housed and how high the fences had to be, and some of them with tops on them. I'll get you a copy of those laws. Councilwoman Jones may touch on demo housing. I don't have the total number that I think we're on the list to have demo. Only bad thing about demoing at a house most of the time, that tax base is going to be lost forever. Very few people are going to come back and build a new house on a 45-foot wide lot. But houses sit so long, about time they get back on the market, 2, 3, 4 years later, the houses deteriorate so fast so much that it's hard to remodel them to make them any good, so they get torn down. Another thing that came up today, I don't think got enough explanation, was the trash and the assessment amount on that. There were some other things that didn't get mentioned here on why that assessment is the amount that it is. Earlier this year, I held a District 4 community meeting at the library. Some information that I passed out there, I think is relevant, maybe more so now. Getting an awful lot of break-ins of cars and garages. Back on the back table, I put out some sheets that we passed out at that meeting. One has to do with home security, child safety, and another one is you and the law. I think this information on here is very valuable to everybody. And just so you know, the you and the law about how you interact with police officers, I worked with the chief on that so that I wouldn't be putting anything down that was not right or against another law. But the home security, and the people who call me about getting their cars broken in, again, like the chief said, their cars have been left open. They have left things in plain sight in their car, in the driveway. And one of the things I think too that will help that a lot is if we leave an exterior light on if possible, in your driveway and in your backyard. These don't like light. They like to be hidden. And another thing, if you see something or if you hear something, call the police department right away. If it's not an emergency, you can call the non-emergency number. They will respond. But one of the ways that we may catch the people who are doing that is if the police can get to that area quick enough before they leave. And some of these things are happening 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, if you see somebody walking down the street at 4 in the morning or coming out of somebody's driveway or a car just kind of going slow down the street, it might give them something to investigate. With that, I can my report.
Thank you. Councilman Brownlee, District 5.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tonight we voted again, just like last year, to keep the trash assessment the same level it has been, even when we still have recycling. Though we do not receive recycling services anymore at our curbside, we have not reduced the amount we're charging homeowners for their trash collection. And there have been all manner of reasons given for why we're doing that. To make a long story very short, the amount projected by the lower amount, the lower assessment, the amount projected to be brought in, as was calculated by our finance department, was $1.26 million. $1.26 million. The cost of the contract is only $1.24 million. There would have been more than enough to cover the cost of trash collection in Maple Heights had we reduced the amount of our assessment as we should have done. Yet we chose to keep it higher, I believe, to help fund other things that we need to run. See, the city does something called fund level accounting. And in fund level accounting, you have something called a negative fund balance. A negative fund balance means that within whatever fund you have that negative balance in, you spent money from somewhere else to pay those bills. The general fund has a negative fund balance of over $2 million right now. A large portion of that negative fund balance has come from what fund? Take a guess. What fund? The trash fund, where there is a large amount of money in that fund right now. So while you look at the books and you can say, oh, we never spent that money, actually it was spent through what's called a negative fund balance. So this isn't getting us anywhere to continue to collect the same amount of money so that we can continue to spend it through a negative fund balance in another fund. What we need to do is act quickly to stem the bleeding so that this city doesn't eventually find itself somewhere down the road where there's nothing left to be done anymore because we have kept down the same track for so long. It was mentioned tonight about businesses in the city, about this being a long decline. It's not something that happened overnight or happened in 2012 whenever the county changed the assessment value of our properties. Things were in motion over the past, you could go back 4 decades, back to Lear Siegler, whenever decisions were made about that business and other businesses since then. But there have been times, opportunities to respond, to change, to shift direction, especially in the past 5 years, that have not been heeded. It was mentioned tonight that all we seem to be talking about are providing services to the poor and disenfranchised. While that's important, if you don't provide the services that the middle class needs, the law-abiding, tax-paying citizens need, if you don't provide those services, they're going to leave. And they have left. That's where we are now. Businesses, many that I've talked to, I would say 90% that I've talked to, people who have reached out to me, people I've met on the street, they tell me that Maple Heights is an extremely difficult place to be in. Why? One word, hostility. It's the word I keep hearing over and over and again. Hostility. The city is hostile toward businesses, especially landlords who rent out property. They're hostile toward them. Had one tell me just today, they must think I light my cigars with $10 bills, but I don't. I'm just a regular guy trying to make a living like everybody else. And I've been to the properties of these individuals, and they have fine properties, well-maintained. These aren't the ones that everyone talks about, the horrible, horrendous ones. These are guys who are trying to do business right. And you know what? It's difficult for them because we make it difficult for them. So you know who doesn't come here? The good people. Do you know who does come here? The bad people who aren't going to pay any attention to the rules, pay any attention to City Hall, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. These are the troubles that we have, some of them, in Maple Heights, and I'm glad that some of the residents see it, even if some of us don't. I thank you for coming tonight and showing that you care. Whatever things that brought you here tonight, those are all your business, but I'm glad that you're here, that you came. And I ask that you would go out in this next week and remember that this Tuesday, the day after Labor Day, is the first election, the primary, September 8th. So go around to your neighbors and say, hey, have a conversation maybe, because we need to have participation in our city to see it turn around. Thank you for your time. May God bless you, and may God bless Maple Heights.
Councilman Trojanski, District 6.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Just a quick recap since the last council meeting. Last Thursday, I hosted a neighborhood watch program for District 6. So I had about 30 to 40 residents that came out to the Lutheran Church of the Covenant, Church of the Covenant, as well as Hope Methodist Church, provide a free community meal that they provide every Thursday, the last Thursday of each month. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank Chief Pabloncic and Officer French, as well as Human Service Director Linda Bovat for joining us that evening. I will announce the next District 6 neighborhood watch meeting at the next council meeting. For the month of September, I am hosting a back-to-school school supply drive for Rockville Elementary School for anyone who doesn't know, Barack Obama is an elementary school in Maple Heights for grades 4th and 5th. There is a collection box that is housed in the vestibule of the library. If you walk in, there's a box on the table, so I encourage you to just take a couple dollars out of your pocket or your purse and just go to Dollar Tree or to Walmart or somewhere and buy some school supplies for the elementary school kids at Barack Obama. That'll be running through September 30th. In the month of September for Maple Heights is Save Our Homes month in Maple Heights, and what it is to raise awareness about people who are losing their homes to foreclosure. We all know what happened in Maple Heights in 2008, 2009, and 2010, the foreclosure crisis here in Maple Heights. We don't want to see more people, families displaced in Maple Heights and have more vacant homes. So partnering with the county police court to offer a safe place for residents who are facing a crisis with their mortgage to get resources and to keep them in their homes. So on Monday, September 28th at the Lutheran Church of the Covenant at 19,000 Libby Road, I'm having an outreach event for residents in Maple Heights at 6:30. If you have any questions, you know someone who's in distress with their mortgage or in foreclosure, please encourage them to come out to this event. There will be resources and there will be help for them. And if you have any questions, please see me after tonight's meeting. And with that, I conclude my report.
Thank you, Richard. Councilwoman Agee, District 7.
Good evening. On Saturday, September the 12th, Southgate will be hosting their 60th anniversary from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Tuesday, September the 22nd, I will be having a block watch meeting at the Maple Heights Library at 6:30. I would like to thank all the District 7 residents who attended my back to school rally. We gave out 100 book bags for the event. I would like to also thank Michelle Rudolph, Council President Jackie Alberts, and Councilman Jackson. Have a happy and safe Labor Day.
Thank you. And we have Councilman Adams, District 1.
I have had a few complaints. Traffic gridlock on the Dunham Road before and after school hours. Please try and avoid that area and find another route during those times. And be careful with the children, especially in the speed zones. Had complaints on Walver. Neighbor's dog moving through the yards and owner not climbing up after it. Unfortunately, the police have to catch the animal in the act. I warned the owner to note, gave them a quality of life book. Please be clean up after your animal. Neighbor dispute on a walkway. Police was called and a woman was transported. Did you? He was overjoyed. Trespassing on residents' property on Cork Hill. I advise persons to call the police. Non-emergency. Next time. We will be having a clam bake at the American Legion. Saturday, September the 19th. 4 to 6. Advance sales only. Chicken bake, half a chicken. Clams, $22. Steak bake, 11-ounce strip, $25. Extra dozen of clams, $8.50. Includes clams, corn, sweet potato roll, butter, router, dessert. Tickets are available at the canteen. Must be purchased by September 10th. Open to the public. And I like Bill's spin on the trash collection. I guess we all hear differently when someone speaks to you. You can take it here, what it means, another person can take it there. Harry during constant caucus explained the difference in the monies. It explained that the service department should be paid for when they go out and pick up garbage that a resident moved out of their house in the middle of the night. And we have to send over to get it many times per day. Refrigerators, couches, you've all seen it. If it's not picked up by waste management, which it can't, one guy, we get calls, we call them, and they send over a service department. Well, they should be reimbursed. The general fund cannot support it. That's what the trash collection is. So we all support it. That's what we paid for. I'm sorry he sees it that way. To return you a few dollars, that would take the money out of the general fund and even make it worse in the city than what you're talking. So you gotta balance right, wrong, and indifference. We gotta do that. And the cameras. I'm for cameras. I heard all camera tonight, 3-4 people. Last time, that was on the ballot. And this was not on the ballot this time. 3-1 against the ballot. And there was a big group saying vote no, vote no. Literature and demonstrations. It was hard for us that was supporting them at that time to donate, get literature, and go out and try to get the residents involved to support. 3-1 against. I voted no today to let the next administration, and there's someone here that will be here next year, for them to start a campaign. Because you heard what the ex-mayor said, ex-councilman said, we need it. Oh my God, you need it. Well, I asked them to bring it up, have public town hall meeting, and discuss it. You all have a right to say how this city should be ran. Finances are laid out. There's not hidden. It's there. And like you heard the mayor say, money is not there. So you're going to figure out where that money's going to come from if you want all these services. There is no money. Sure, the cameras are revenue generated. And so is the safety, like Rockside Road, like the little girl on Dunham. But we're going to have, you'll have to have discussions on why we have to have the need, and why you should have the need, support it, and vote on it. Right now, I want to keep the ballot clean and ask everybody to vote for the senior center, which we all agreed to, 55 votes short. So now, let's do little steps. Let's gain 56 votes to get it passed. Next year, present this charter change. That's what it was. It's a charter change to get it into the charter and then bring it back out and vote it. Well, have public meetings, even though over mine and discuss it. But that I had my report. Have a happy Labor Day.
Thank you, Alex. Councilwoman Tony Jones.
Good evening, everybody. Basically, I was going to say pretty much what Alex was alluding to in regards to the cameras. One of the reasons why I did not vote for the cameras, and I know a lot of people may be disappointed because I also am a supporter, is to keep the ballot clean so that people are not voting no against the cameras and no against the senior center. I think that with a new administration that is going to be coming in January 1st, hopefully I'm still around, and a few of us that are up for re-election are still here. I would like to reintroduce this, but in a different way, so that we can have forums and we can have a public forum with the finance director so people could ask questions and have the people become more familiar with what is needed financially for the city. There will be a primary next year, it's a presidential year, so there will be other opportunities for this to go on the ballot. I didn't feel that this was the correct time. We didn't have enough time to do publicity, and if we would put it on again, it would be, as some people have quoted, shoving it down your throat again. And that is not the way to do it. We need to come together and all agree that this is what we need to have. I just have a couple of other different points. Thank you, Richard, for putting together our Save Our Homes, our foreclosure prevention program. Foreclosure doesn't only hit people that have mortgage foreclosures. There are certain ways that you could also be in trouble, and that's from, having delinquent property tax. Another one could be getting the toxic auto title, car title loans where people try to, you could lose your car if you go ahead and do something like that. These people are also going to have counselors there from different agencies. It's not only going to be the mediators there from the county court that specialize just in the foreclosure prevention. So anybody that has a danger of losing anything should attend so that you can get expert advice. And I'm hoping that one of my friends is going to be there who is an attorney that is free of charge, giving you actually information that is bona fide about where you need to go and what you need to do to get help. Just to touch on why I voted for the trash collection. We are billed the same amount per household, or per house, let's just say per unit, because we get billed twice for 2-family homes and 3-family homes. But we get billed the same for everybody. So with the city allowing seniors to have a homestead exemption on their trash, Waste Management doesn't give us a refund or a credit just because you're a senior. They have no idea who lives behind that garbage can and what that house looks like or who's there. That has to be made up by us, which are the people that pay the full amount. So I think it's important for us to keep it at the current rate that it's at, because I don't think that seniors would be able to afford the contrary if we would end up eliminating the homestead exemption for the trash collection. Because I know we never talked about that, but that could have been an option. So that is one of the reasons why I voted for the dollar amount to be assessed. And if people aren't familiar, and I think you guys probably realize this by now, but what we passed was the noxious weeds and the demolition and the boarding and the criminal activity nuisances. These are liens that are going to be placed on the property tax of the homes that we actually did repairs to, or board ups, or cut their grass, with the hopes that we recoup some of this money. So that is one of the reasons why we had such a lengthy ordinance and third readings on that stuff. Mr. Borsey that lives on Longview, just wanted to let you know there are homes on Longview and Fairway that are coming down. There's a formula that the county uses that if the market value exceeds the rehab and sale value of the house, it is no longer a viable unit. And yes, by demolishing a property, it could be taking away from the tax base, but there are just as many people that want the side yards as there are people that are actually calling to say, can my neighbor's house be torn down because I need a bigger yard? And with what was passed through council tonight, and thank you for doing this, by allowing people to have a lot consolidation, it is actually going to improve your property by having a larger area for livable space and for your enjoyment, as well as a resale value, because I know our houses are on top of each other. I need to tell you where my bathroom door is compared to, or my bathroom window is, you know, like right by my neighbor's side door. I mean, we all have that, don't we? So it would be kind of nice to have a little bit of space in between certain things. And I know it's kind of funny, it was meant to be a joke. But there are a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are looking for vacant lots. And if anybody has any questions or has any homes in particular, I am working with the building department. I did write the grant for the demolition to the county, and we have taken off 20 properties so far of people that have pulled permits and they're working on their homes. Some of them are the actual homeowners, some of them went through a tax foreclosure, so that's a good thing. But they're also being replaced by other homes that, you know, maybe I didn't see before, or just because sometimes you miss it the first time, because when everybody else fixes up and it looks good, something just stands out just a little bit more, or there's a little bit more a complicated title to the property, which is something that we have to clear up in order to give notification before the demolition. So if anybody has any questions with that, I am available. And I also have a copy of what the mayor was talking about, the triennial update for the increases or the decrease actually in the property tax, if anybody wants to just view what Cuyahoga County looks like. And that's the end of my report. Happy Labor Day.
Thank you, Tony. It's good to ask questions, folks, and to get answers. Sometimes the facts get twisted, and it's good to sit back and absorb what you heard, and also ask more questions. Definitely, and that's the way to go. I have been asked to announce that there is going to be a Labor Day raffle to benefit the center here and the food pantry. And the drawing will be on the 8th of September. And the tickets are $2 each, or 3 for $5. And the big enormous TV that really should be in my house is over on the table. And then there's the basketball and the Cavaliers paraphernalia is also part of that. I think it's a 1-2, is it? 1, 2, 3. Oh, the dumb ball machine. So it's 1, 2, 3.
No, the third prize is $100 and
Okay. Good. And the gumball is the same. Right. So if you'd like to get involved in that, you're welcome to do that. And I won't take much more time. I just wanted to note an article here in the neighborhood news, and I'm not sure whether you have gotten it or you read it online, but we are community partners with Marymount and the information seminars that they put on over at the hospital. If you don't mind, I'd like to finish. Ladies? Thank you. They put on seminars on a regular basis on topics that are very important to all of us. A lot of times we don't go over to Garfield Heights because it's it's just something a little bit further. But we are community partners. One of them that they're having on the 10th is September 10th from 6 to 8 in their auditorium. And they're going to be discussing with experts as well as Judge DeCastro the youth violence and drug use. And it's something that we are all concerned about. Maybe it may not be, particularly in Maple Heights, but you open the paper, you read the news, or you hear the news, and there is violence and just horrendous stuff going on all over this community, and others. So if there's some way that we can get educated or help or whatever, but just thought I'd bring that to your attention. And with that, I'm going to end the meeting at 8:30, and thank you for coming. See you on the 16th, 14th.